I didn't even flinch when the words left her mouth. There were 37 people packed into that room. Friends, co-workers, neighbors. And all of them froze when my wife lifted her glass, lipstick staining the rim, and smiled that calculated, merciless smile. "The best gift," she said, "is you walking out of my life." Laughter rippled through the crowd, nervous and thin, shattering against the silence like brittle glass. Every eye turned toward me, waiting, expecting outrage, humiliation, collapse. I gave them nothing. I raised my glass, clinked hers, took a sip and sat back down. On the outside I looked calm. Inside I shattered. It hadn't always been like this. There was a time she looked at me like I was the only man alive. Back then, we were broke but unstoppable, whispering about our future as if saying it too loud would break the magic. She told me I was her safe place. She was mine. But comfort curdles. Success breeds entitlement. Slowly, her laughter turned sharp where it had once been soft. She stopped reaching for my hand. She started scanning the room, as if always waiting for someone better. At first, I blamed myself. I worked too many late nights, missed anniversaries, traveled more than I should. The guilt blinded me, until the night her phone buzzed at 2:11 a.m. She was asleep beside me, breathing steady. I reached for it. One name lit up the screen. Daniel. I opened the messages. In one thread, my marriage was gone. I never confronted her. That would have given her the chance to twist it, deny it, cry her way out. Instead, I watched her. Every smile, every excuse, every meeting. I became a ghost in my own home. She thought she was deceiving me. She didn't realize I was memorizing her tells, her patterns. That birthday toast wasn't just cruelty, it was arrogance. She thought she had already won. Thought I was broken. But I wasn't broken. I was preparing. The night after her party, while she slept in the guest room, she hadn't shared my bed in months. I sat in the study and began pulling threads. Bank accounts, credit cards, property titles. She'd grown careless, used to spending freely, never noticing the quiet transfers I'd been making for months, funneling everything into accounts she couldn't touch. The house, legally mine. She'd once brushed it off early in our marriage. We trust each other, it doesn't matter. I remembered. The next morning, I called my lawyer. Within days, papers were signed, the house listed. She never even glanced at the mail. Her affair, I had it all documented. Photos, texts, call logs. Enough to scorch her reputation. Enough to leave her defenseless in court. She thought she'd humiliated me in front of 37 witnesses. She had no idea what humiliation really was. A week later, I set it all in motion. I left before dawn, packing only 2 suitcases. By the time she woke, the house was half empty. At noon, her card declined. By evening, every account was frozen. Ownership of the house was already transferred. That morning, she had walked those halls like a queen. By nightfall, she was a tenant in someone else's home. And then came the silence. 23 calls that first day. By the second, desperate texts. By the third, pleading, "We can talk. This is childish. You're hurting us both." I never replied. The final blow came on the 7th day. Her company had organized a gala. I knew she'd be there, dressed up, smiling, pretending. Daniel, the man she thought would rescue her, wasn't. His wife had already received a neat little package from me. Proof. Evidence. Enough to not only wreck a marriage, but corrode a reputation. He never showed. She did. She stormed into the gala with fury in her eyes, papers clutched in her hands. And right there, in the middle of that glittering crowd, she exposed everything. Gasps. Cameras. The same faces that had laughed at my humiliation now stared at hers. I wasn't there to see it. I didn't need to be. Where was I? In another city, under another name, watching from a safe distance as her carefully built world burned down around her. I pictured her in that moment, mask cracking, hands trembling, whispers swelling into judgment. No glass to raise. No crowd to charm. No husband to stand beside her. Just the crushing weight of her own choices. She thought she had stripped me of dignity. But I had taken everything. Our money, the house, her image, even her lover. She was left with nothing but herself. And I knew that was the cruelest gift of all. Do I regret it? No. Regret belongs to people who lash out, who act in anger. I didn't. I moved with patience, precision. I gave her enough rope to build her kingdom. And then I pulled it tight. This wasn't revenge. Revenge is messy, emotional. What I gave her was justice. She lifted her glass in front of 37 witnesses, thinking she'd ended me. What she really did was set me free. And freedom, I've learned, tastes far sweeter when it's laced with silence. I never went back. Not for her. Not for closure. Some people deserve answers. She didn't. She forfeited that the moment she turned my devotion into a performance. Now when I think of her, there's no anger. No sadness. Just the quiet satisfaction of knowing that the harshest revenge requires no shouting, no confrontation. Just the calm removal of everything they thought was theirs. And the cold certainty that when they finally turn to look for the man they believed they owned, he's gone. Only absence remains.